everybody, and welcome to our top 10 comic quick picks. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, where we go over about 10 comics that we think you most want to hear about real quick. So it is a very big week, and the number of books is pretty big, but the power of the
Yeah, like there's
books.
a lot of big, like important kind of books here, like just really good ones.
Yes, absolutely. So, Matt, you want to start us off with the
Yeah,
first one?
the very first one I'm going to start with is Edge of Spider-Verse #3. Now, I know this is weird, like, oh, it's #3 in an anthology series. That's weird. But we finally get some information about Spider-Boy. So, obviously it's not his first appearance, but we do finally see him without his mask on. We finally do learn his last name. We learn a little bit more about his powers. So just some real, and it's just a good story too. Like just a fun. It's like really fun too. So a really fun story there. And then there is a second story about Spider Smasher, who is Miles' sister Billy, but she's grown up and in another Earth as well. So just a really, really good book. Spider Boy, I really hope we see a lot more of him because he's great.
Next up, I've got Ultimate Invasion #1. This is the first issue of a 4-issue miniseries that is going to be restarting the Ultimate Universe. But how is it going to happen? And what will be similar, what will be different? If the maker has anything to do with it, it will not contain superheroes. So get into issue #1. I feel like it's a little bit bigger size of an issue, and this is going to be a big kind of launching point for a lot of things to come.
Next from DC is Wonder Woman #800. So this is the last issue of this run before Wonder Woman gets restarted in September with Wonder Woman by Tom King and Daniel Sampere. So in this has two stories. The backup story is the big one. This is the first appearance of Wonder Woman's daughter Lizzie. So we get some really nice interaction with her, and then John Kent Superman, and also Damian as Batman because it's in the future. They're grown up now. So that's really, really interesting. And then the main story of this is Wonder Woman visiting different characters in their dreams, and she sees herself how they see her. And that's a really good sort of character study of Wonder Woman too. So just a really solid book. But yeah, the backup with her daughter is really fantastic.
Next up, I have Titans #2. The pretty much the spearhead book at DC. Titans taking the place of the Justice League continues to be great. After a fellow member shows up dead in Titans Tower, it's up to the Titans to figure out what happened. And someone shows up at the door that's going to throw that whole thing into a tailspin. But great issue of Titans, and I continue to love this
Mhm.
series.
Next is Avengers #2. This one was really, really good. Like I read this and just loved every minute of it. So the Avengers get some information from Kang about 1,000 lives that they need to save in the next 24 hours to because if they don't, it'll like butterfly effect and cause massive casualties at some point. So the Avengers, while the Avengers are running around saving these lives, it cuts back and forth between that and Carol talking to Kang. He starts to tell her about the tribulation events, which is going to be a big deal in this book going forward. The first one, the Forbidden City, I believe, is what it is, or Impossible City. Excuse me. Yeah, I
Impossible
knew that
City.
didn't sound right. The Impossible City. So just like really, they're doing a really good world building here, and of course, the art's fantastic too.
Next up, I've got Hulk #1, Incredible Hulk #1. This is the new ongoing Hulk series, and this is really cool. This definitely leans into the horror aspect of Hulk. If you like the kind of monstrous side of Hulk, is he a monster or a man? They straight up saying here he is a
Mm.
monster, and you have to figure out what that does to Bruce Banner's life and what is going to happen that's going to awaken a lot of the other monsters in the Marvel universe. I think a lot of people are really going to enjoy this new outing for Hulk.
Body horror in that one too, so
Yeah.
that's kind of weird. Next is Nightwing #105, just continuing a really good run of Nightwing. This issue is the entire thing is done from Dick Grayson's perspective. Like it's all first person, just like you can see on the cover here, and it's really fun. It's done really, really well. I mean, we still see his reflection when he looks in the mirror. We still see him, but there's some really good one-liners between Dick and Barbara in this as they try to track down a couple of criminals who have stolen a vaccine It's just really well done. Like I was really impressed how they pulled it off because it sounds like it might not be easy to do, but they did it. It's really good.
Next up, I have Star Wars The Mandalorian Season 2, Number 1. So, as they continue their adaptations of the season of Mandalorian, each issue represents one episode. So, this one is the first episode called Redemption, and it contains the first appearance of Cobb Vanth in comics. So, if you are a grabbing all the first appearance, first Cobb Vanth, and of course, the new look for Boba Fett appears in this one as well. Plus, this is one of my favorite Mandalorian episodes, so just great to be able to read that one.
And my last one, just because I thought it was so fun, this is Camp Pickens #1. This is from Archie. This is three different stories of like this would be a great book to come out in October because it's
Mhm.
three different tales of spooky kind of horror stuff, which doesn't sound like it fits with Archie, but really Archie is the source of some of the best horror comics I've read
Mhm.
in a long time. So there's three different stories in this, and they're all like it gets kind of dark in a couple places. So if you like a horror but with like a sort of a nice happy coat of paint on it, then that's a good book to get.
And lastly, for me, we have Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 35. This is kind of a new jumping on point for bounty hunters as they're assembling a new team. As much as bounty hunters work together, which is not too well. But this one's really interesting too because you actually see Boba Fett with his helmet off, but in his younger days.
Oh.
So, not the Mandalorian time period, but this is, between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So I think it's technically first appearance of Boba Fett like that. You'll have to read it to find out all how that happens and everything. But just a great issue, and if you've been looking for a new Star Wars book to jump into, I think this is a great jumping on point for this series. So thank you so much for checking out our top 10 quick picks this week. Make sure to head over to our website, infinityflux.net, where you can pre-order books. You can order any of these books you saw here today, and you get our deepest gratitude as well as as long
As
as
long as you order
no
something.
stipulations, as well as you get 10% off of all the books that you pre-order. So thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for our big review show, our spoiler free, spoiler light review show that we'll be doing here in just a minute, where you can see all these books plus all the variants and much, much more. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.